This man is on red-hot form at St Andrews at the moment.
And it goes again towards the towering Zigic. Oh, confusion at Martins has surely scored the winning goal for Birmingham City.
Hello and welcome to Blues Talk, the official Birmingham City FC podcast. Callum Denning and Dale Moon here to look back on a positive week, 5 points in the space of 7 days. And looking ahead to more positives to come over the Easter weekend, with hopefully more than just eggs coming Blues' way. Goalkeeper Lee Camp will be joining us, and it's a very special Quickfire Questions with Blues women and Liverpool's very own Paige Williams.
The Blues Talk podcast with Dale Moon and Callum Denning.
Right, Dale, we're here, we're back.
Yeah, lots to talk about. Another podcast, another week's gone by. Obviously, it has been a busy week. 3 games in the space of 7 days. A few positive results against teams up there, and it's still not done. It rumbles on for another Easter weekend. We thought we'd be home and hosed by now. This was the season that we didn't have to worry about the last few games, but here we are in true Birmingham City style, and it's still all to play.
It wouldn't be Blues otherwise.
No.
I think we've said this before, but it's true.
Yeah.
Listen, I've got to come clean at the start of the podcast and just go, I haven't seen any of the past 3 games. I've been away.
Why
I've
is
been out
that,
of the
Callum?
country.
Why is that?
I'll tell you more later. I
Yeah.
want to save that until a little bit later on when we've got Lee Camp here, because I think he'll relate to why I haven't seen the games. If anything, he might be jealous, but yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
So I'm going to need you to kind of run me through them, let alone the listeners. We played Leeds United, Sheffield United, Ipswich Town.
Yeah.
What happened? I know the scores, that's it.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a big week. Leeds and Sheffield United in the space of 4-5 days. The Leeds one to start off with. Of course, we got that fantastic result at Ellen Road earlier in the season. You know what Leeds are all about at this stage. Bielsa's got them playing a certain way. They go man for man, very fluid, they dominate the ball. I mean, Hernandez is a top player in the middle of the park. I think the gaffer in the days leading up to the match spoke about Hernandez and how good he is, one of the best in this division. He actually took him from Swansea to Leeds, so followed his path. But we've just played particularly well off the ball. I mean, Leeds, we knew we were going to dominate possession. As I say, they like to pass you to death. But I thought the boys defended fantastically well. And, you've always got a chance when you've got Shea Adams in your team. We've seen countless times this season where he pops up with a goal from nothing. And the goal comes from Jack McGomer's first real involvement in the game, actually, and off the left-hand side. Darts between a few players and does the right thing. Just offloads it across the 18-yard box. Lukas Jukovic with a presence of mind to let it run through his legs, and Shea Adams takes a couple of touches away from Pontus Jansson and just absolutely lashes one into the bottom corner. Brought everyone to life. But it just goes to show the fine margins, and that was an afternoon that went for Blues. I mean, Patrick Bamford has a really big chance 2 minutes before that where he hits the post and probably should score. And from there on in, really, it was Leeds United trying to break down a resolute, well-organised, well-drilled, gritty Birmingham City performance, and they failed to do it. Credit to Blues. Leeds thought of trying to blast through us. They couldn't. They tried to go around us. They couldn't. Maxime Collin on the day was unbelievable at fullback. Pedersen had a good game as well. So that was the one that everyone looked back on, and the gaffer particularly enjoyed it. I
can imagine.
He's cool and calm, and he says all the right things, but you could tell the expression on his face after the game, both going to the tilt and giving it the fist in the air and punches the air.
Great gift, by the way.
And then as he's making his way down the tunnel as well, he enjoyed that one. Given all the fallout when he left Leeds. So really big 3 points to get that 3-game week off and running. Perfect start. Rest and recovery. Boys are in over the weekend. Then, of course, comes another promotion contender in Sheffield United. Now, you've got the Leeds fans who are obviously disappointed that we took points off them, hoping that we can replicate that performance. But to ask that group of players, and we've mentioned it a number of times this season, such a small group, to go again and put in that effort against another side who's going to have more of the ball. You're going to do a lot of running defensively and covering a lot of space. I thought they were tremendous again against Sheffield United. Fall behind. I think it's Ender Stevens just lashes one home from range. Campy just does get up to his right-hand side, but can't prevent it from going in. It's enough power behind it. 1 or 2 question marks over whether he could have done better, but the power just beat him. And so then you're thinking, right, it's been so much energy in the Leeds game to get that result. What have they got left in the tank? What's in the reserves to go again? And credit to the boys. I thought they were fantastic again to find a second win. And the real turning point in that game is that Sheffield United didn't have their lead for too long in the game. Just checking, but it was 4 minutes between Enda Stevens and Michael Morrison's goal. Michael Morrison, 6th for the campaign. He's first at St Andrews.
He's staking a claim, isn't he, for top goal scorer?
Yeah, he's having a go. He might have still too much to do with just a handful of games left. But yeah, he stabs it home, loops it in underneath the crossbar, and I think that was crucial to score and get back on level terms before half-time was massive in the game. And again, there was this opportunities for Blues to nick it. I think Shea's had a chance where you'd like to think he could have done better. Hotter's drilled one towards the near post, cutting off the right. Just didn't get the connection clean. You'd like to see him just put his foot through the ball sometimes, but almost dragged it down low to the keeper's near post. But another really good point on the board. So you look back on those two, you think, right, 4 points at St Andrews against two very good sides. It can be decided on Saturday. We go to Ipswich, although not mathematically. A big 3 points there would see us home and hosed. And for 45 minutes, it looked like we were going to run away with it. I really fancied us there as well. I know traditionally we've struggled against sides who are down at the wrong end of the table and make life difficult, put players behind the ball and bank in. But Ipswich needed a win to keep their survival hopes alive, at least for another week. And we were, for the first half hour, 40 minutes... fantastic. I mean, we created so many openings without testing the goalkeeper. There was openings in terms of 3-on-2s. We were getting in behind them. It was just that final pass or that final shot. We had a number of free kicks that we didn't take advantage of. Get the goal through Lukas Jukovic. Again, Maxime Collin involved. Fantastic run down the right, pulls it across the 6-yard box and he prods it home. So there you think, right, let's kick on now. And like I say, created a number of chances. Going 1-0 up at half-time. And Paul Lambert changes it, throws on another striker. They go 2 up top. Quainer was a handful on loan from Huddersfield. And they made life really difficult for us. And in the end, they get their equaliser and then they're in the ascendancy. The whole pendulum swings their way. And you come away, they're inches away from taking the lead and off the inside of the post and right the way across goal. Harley Dean has to shovel it clear. But you come away thinking, well, we could have got done there. We've gone from a half in the first half of the game where we should be 3 or 4 up to coming away thankful to have taken a point. And that the results, Rotherham drawing with Stoke, meant that not much has changed at the foot of the table, and ultimately we're a game down. We're a week closer towards the end of the season, but a big double header over Easter to come.
Sounds like a tale of two halves. Ipswich kind of having nothing to lose really in that second half, already looking like they were heading for the drop, just going all guns blazer.
Yeah, that is exactly that. I mean, like you say, to be 1-0 down, they weren't in the game in that first period. He's changed it. He just matched us, basically. Thought we'll go 4-4-2. Fancied their chances against us, and they were. They've got some good players. And Judge is a good player. Had a fantastic season at Brentford. Like I say, Quain on loan from Huddersfield was probably their dangerous, their threat, their biggest danger. But the first half openings are the big disappointment. We spoke to David Davis after the game and he said we have to be more ruthless. That was the real message to come away from Portland Road, was when we create these chances, we have to take them. We have to be ruthless in front of goal, because we should have put Ipswich away. We didn't. But it's another point. We go again, and like we say, it prolongs this season, at least till this Easter weekend, where you'd imagine it would be decided over the space of a Friday and Monday.
Big game on Monday away at Rotherham. We'll talk about that, though, in a moment, because I think it's time to welcome our guest for the week. Do you want to give him a bit of an introduction? I know he's our first player, really, on Blues Talk for an extended interview, so please do the honours.
Yep, we were overjoyed to be joined by Lee Camp, who is a fantastic character among the group, as you're just about to hear, but... I thought the chat was fantastic. He's had obviously his critics this season. Some as you'll hear, he thinks are fair, some aren't. Very frank, forthright, experienced professional, seen and done a lot in the game. Talks, he just feels comfortable in his own skin. You can tell he knows what football's about. He talks about a wide range of issues, starting with about 20 minutes of wrestling talk,
Nothing
which
wrong
is not
with that.
my thing, but clearly it's yours and his.
It's just an advance warning to fast forward if you're not into that, I suppose.
Talks about the Netflix series Sunderland Till I Die, which he featured in. But, you know, someone who we haven't heard a lot of. I think he spoke after the QPR game as a train goes past behind the stand here at St Andrews. He spoke after the QPR game, but we haven't heard his voice too often this season on Blues TV, and I think it's a fantastic chance to sit down with him. As with most of our guests, this could have been a 3-4 hour interview, particularly with Lee Camp, but a real stand-up pro and someone who we really enjoyed talking to.
The Blues Talk Podcast.
Campy, so I thought the best, most pertinent question, considering you've had over 500 appearances in the game, done a round of the Midlands clubs, but I thought I'd kick off by asking, should a grown man still be into wrestling?
Brilliant. Let's bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
So, as a 34-year-old, should you still be that keen into wrestling?
Yeah, you should, because you never get too old to suspend your disbelief. So
That sounds
it's
very
just,
deep.
This is it.
That was a very philosophical question.
I'm sat here quietly seething the question.
well, you asked the question. You asked the question.
No,
You're gonna get some answers.
Unpack it for me then.
Well, no, I think it's one of them. It's one of the things. I wouldn't say I'm as into it as I was perhaps when I was a kid and when I was a teenager and that, but I still take an interest in it, and it's. I think with all the different forms of media there is now, i.e. podcasts and things like that, it's interesting to get a different perspective on it. So it's probably more the nostalgia of it that interests me, and going back to events that were sort of my era, wrestlers of my era, and then obviously there's so much media that you can relate back to. It's interesting to see a different perspective. So I wouldn't say I sit up watching Raw at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday morning or anything like that.
I do wonder.
But with, like, for example, the WWE networks, like a tenner a month, and you've got so much.
You subscribe?
Stuff. Hell yeah, I subscribe. And you're like, you can click on your iPad or on the phone or on your TV or whatever, and you've got everything. So it's like, why not?
Subscribe, Danny?
I subscribe, man. I'm going to publicly come out here now. I was at WrestleMania this year, right? So I want to switch this question on to you. What's your favourite TV show? You like Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
You know it's all fake, yeah? It's all fictional.
No, I thought...
None of it's real.
No, I thought the dragons were real.
Well, this is the thing with wrestling. It's a fictional, entertainment product.
But I don't go that deep. I don't think, you need to go that deep. It's just, it doesn't harm anyone.
It's light-hearted entertainment.
If I sit at home for an hour, and I've got an hour to kill, and I listen to a podcast about something that I want to listen to, or if I watch something that I want to do, I'm not harming anybody.
Yeah.
And I just think it's what I enjoy. Some people will go out and have 20 pints and want to have a fight in the middle of an afternoon. And what's the difference? If he wants to do that and enjoy it, then so be it. It's just like, it is what it is. But I watch snooker. I'll watch snooker as if I'd watch wrestling or these other sports and other things. It's just one things I do to pass time.
How was WrestleMania, Danny?
It was alright. It was long, 7 hours long. So you had numb legs by the end of it. But I'm sure Camp will agree. It's a decent watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not watched it. I've not actually watched it, but the bits I've seen and the reviews and all that, which you take very lightly because you make your own assessment of it. But it seems as if it's one of the better ones in recent years. But I heard somebody say something the other day that actually, like, WrestleMania sells itself, and the event is bigger.
The spectacle.
Than the spectacle and the whole week leading into it and the whole thing. It's become like a bit of a Super Bowl. Way of doing it, where even like the towns now bid on WrestleMania.
No way.
So it's obviously like a money thing, because they go back to some towns that they've been a couple of years before, which never used to happen. that sells. So you're not the actual events are probably bigger than the matches. Where when I was growing up, it was more about actually what the rest. Like, I couldn't have told you what really was the card this year. I wasn't that into it as much, but. It seems as if it's WrestleMania, it's already sold out before there's anything that you don't even know what you're watching. You're buying a ticket for WrestleMania, so you don't even knowing if anyone's going to be wrestling. If I'd have bought a ticket and Undertaker hadn't have been wrestling, I'm going WrestleMania because I want to see Undertaker, for example, and he wasn't wrestling, kind of like, a bit gutted. But you kind of take your chances, don't you? Because you buy a ticket, because if you don't, it's going to be sold out in 20 minutes without even a match.
How many people were there?
85,000 were there. I've got to say as well, had a Blues fan shout "keep right on" at me as I walked into the stadium. So
did he know? How would he know? Did you go in a Blues top?
Listen, tradition, right? I know I'm a club employee and everything, but when you're at WrestleMania, you get a replica shirt of the football team sport. If you're British, everyone does it. I saw Blackburn, Oxford, Villa, and
did you take part in tailgating?
You know what? We came in on this weird train service that they run over there, so you could kind of see the tailgating in the car parks, but you kind of cut off from it. You come into, it's almost like a compound. It's weird. Yeah, we were away from all of it, but it looked like something I'd like to see at St Andrews on a match day. In the car park pre-match.
I saw some like crazy fans jumping off cars, doing.
You saw that video of me?
Yeah, like reenacting the geezer on a belt and all sorts, and they were so keen for it. It's just like a cult following. Mm-hmm. And you know when like someone wins a bout, the crowd go up, don't they?
Yeah.
Like they're so bought into it, like it's a contest, like a fight.
Is it
even though you know that it's not real? It's just quite light entertainment, which I find crazy. But I haven't watched it for years. Like the last time I probably watched it was like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It's a good time to stop.
Rikishi was probably
the greatest of all time.
Rikishi was probably
Rikishi's the greatest of all time.
My all-time favourite. He follows me on Twitter. That's my claim to fame. That stink face, honestly, it's the greatest finishing move.
Like Bret Hart's my guy. I was never really. So I got into it. My first memory of it was like '92.
Okay.
And me and my mate, I gave him a shout out, Louis from Derby. We always used to go to each other's house on a Monday and a Wednesday. I think it was we went to his, and his auntie actually recorded a bit of piracy video before it was even piracy, but she recorded off Sky Sports like SummerSlam '92.
yeah.
And that was at Wembley.
Right.
So that was obviously all on Sky and all that back in the day. And I remember we just watched it, and that was my first sort of. I think that's like my first memory. And obviously the main event of that was Bret Hart and the Bulldog. And from then on I was always a Bret Hart guy. And then from then on that's where I kind of became kind of obsessed with it and went back and virtually had like, I remember going to Asda on a Friday night and I'd bug my dad for a video. Dad, I need a video, can I get a video? And basically beat him into submission. And then it was like, Dad, I need these 2 videos.
Great
so
reference.
it was like, yeah. So every Friday night was a case of trying to get a wrestling video from Asda out of my dad, or going to the video shop to hire like. So then my catalogue went back obviously to like probably 84, 5 sort of thing, but we never, because then you don't really know what's going on week to week. You only really have like the main events. You know all like the WrestleManias, all the main ones. But the actual what goes on week to week, I didn't really know. So I didn't really understand the storylines until
which are a big part of it. Is that what? So the storylines and the characters and who likes who don't.
But if
like
you actually
who.
like, if you get into it now, it's so everything again. It's surprising. Like, everything's so immediate. They'll have an argument at the start of the night.
Yeah.
But at 9 o'clock, and by 10:30, they've had a fight. Someone's gone through a table. Like a diva's got involved, and it's all over. And everything's just so quick. Where before they used to have build up. It all used to like. Just sort of organically develop into something. Yeah. And
now it's just
like everything gets rammed down your throat. It's like this, it's that, and it's like they're doing stuff on social media, and it's the world we live in, which is fine, and it's not my world, but it's kind of that's the bit where it's like, you know, don't want to sound old and let's go to the old school, but it's kind of like, how many times can you see these two fight again? Like, what more how many more tables are you gonna like?
Not original.
And it seems it's just too scripted now. Do you know what I mean?
Is it true that Mankind wasn't supposed to be thrown through his cell? Was he supposed to fall through it?
I think that's
true.
He was meant to be thrown off the top.
Okay.
Onto the
commentary table.
I could well be wrong. I don't think the roof was meant to give way.
Right.
No. I've listened to a podcast on this actually. And so I think he was meant to be thrown off the table, off the roof onto the table. I don't think anybody knew it was coming.
Right.
But I think the cage gave way. I think he fell or he slipped and he ended up going back through. And that's when I think they thought, and that's when his tooth come out through his nose.
The Undertaker at this point is bricking it.
Yeah.
The Undertaker thinks he's killed it.
Yeah. because he did the Undertaker like check he's not dead.
Yeah.
And then he gets up laughing and his tooth hanging out his nose, and it's like, wow.
That's my favourite wrestling moment.
That's the image
my
to come out of the
grandparents.
podcast.
I used to watch with my grandparents Friday Night Raw. Do you think like it was like Sky Sports 10 till midnight every Friday? That was before SmackDown was even.
Oh yeah, when they had it on delay, yeah.
But that was the time. So that would probably be like 90s,
early 90s, mid 90s,
96, 97ish.
Yeah.
So that's when like the Monday Night Wars were on with
Monday
WCW.
Night. That's it. Yeah.
So Raw.
Goldberg, Sting.
Had to be mental. From week to week, it was like ridiculous because they were vying for ratings.
Yeah.
So it was like it just getting better and better. So that was a great.
Yeah, that
was the greatest era of like.
And I did go and see it when it was in Birmingham. I've still got the programme, and I remember, like I say, the Legion of Doom and Farouk and the Nation of Domination and all that. That was my.
That was where it went from a bit cartoony into a little bit more of themselves.
Yeah.
So like Stone Cold, like sort of went from being whatever he was, and he sort of like basically just went off and did his own thing.
Yeah.
And that's before when they could say what they want. Well, within reason, say what they wanted on the mic. And now it's all like
very scripted.
Yeah, it's like you can tell they're reading a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's.
But given all that, when you watch the Hardy Boys, they've still got to have some athletic ability to throw themselves and twist themselves.
Idiots.
Like
these. Honestly, like them in the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, whenever they did them table ladders and shit. Like, you watch them now and you look at it and you think, like,
yeah, mad.
Mental. Right? No wonder they've all got neck injuries and spinal problems. You know, I know it's scripted, and I know I don't want to say it's fake. I know they know what they're doing.
Yeah. But still.
But I'm telling you, I throw myself on the floor most days for my living, and it hurts sometimes, and your body takes its toll. It takes its toll on your body, I should say. So if I'm £300 and I'm being thrown off a ladder that's 20 foot in the air, and I'm going into like through a load of woods, although it's whatever, it ain't padded.
No.
It's got to hurt.
It's still gonna hurt.
And when you land on your head and you like, you know, it's got to hurt. And I think some of these, like when I've seen it live, I think. He's about 7 foot him. He's just thrown him about 12 foot up in the air.
Yeah.
And he's come crashing down on his back. It's got to hurt, I think.
Fair play to him.
They must have like some resilience to do it. But
yeah. I've not dreamt this up. There was a spell in the late 90s or mid 90s where Raw, they used to have, I don't even know the politically correct term, small people do it with masks. Yeah,
that is a huge, no one knows what to say.
Yeah.
Because I listen to podcasts and they call them,
with
the greatest respect, they call them all sorts.
Yeah.
And I've no
What was that? Was
like,
that just a spell?
Let's call it Dink. Got Dink, Doink and Dink. Right,
Okay.
so you got Doink the Clown and he had his mini-me.
Okay.
We'll call him mini-me. Like, and he was Dink.
Okay.
So yes, I know what you mean.
Do you know
but
what I
that
mean?
was like an attraction. They call that like the attraction.
Oh, okay.
So like the Undertaker was classed as an attraction, if that makes sense. That's how they marketed it. Like that's why he wasn't champion very often.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how that. But that's the sort of stuff that interests me.
Yeah.
Now is that when you listen to the podcast and they go like, for example, let's say like WrestleMania from like 91 or 92, whenever. You think, well, how did they put the matches together? Why did this happen? Why did that happen?
Yeah.
And there's so many critics like, I would have done this and I would have done that. And you're kind of like, yeah, but your decisions don't have any consequences.
Yeah.
Like, you're not thinking how to run my business, like,
make money and market it.
12 months down the line.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to look back now and look at the psychology why they did certain things.
Yeah.
And you think, actually, yeah, that makes sense. And when you put it like that, you think, yeah, you can't do that. So you've got all these people who criticise it and go, oh, you shouldn't have done this and why did that happen? And it's like, well, that's fair enough, but you're just looking at that one thing. I suppose it's a bit like a football manager when he makes one decision.
One
like
substitution.
There's a ripple effect. So it's like, if I do that, how does that affect you? And if I make that, how does that affect him? And then what happens there? And it's all, I suppose it's like moving pieces, which is, I suppose, is like anybody who's a manager in a leadership role who's having to deal with people have that thing. And that's the sort of thing I look at. And it's nice just to, I mean, it's nothing. It's not going to change my life by knowing. But you look back and you go, actually, that makes sense. And that's like, why did they do that? And it's interesting to see because, I mean, the geezer who's Vince McMahon, he's took it from like buying it off his dad to being like a New York wrestling outfit. Geezer's a billionaire.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? His business is worth, it's priceless.
And after all these years, still attracts 80,000 plus people and a worldwide audience of millions.
The Raw and SmackDown, they sold their TV rights for billions. billions and billions
It's
of
amazing.
dollars to I don't know what name is it, US Network,
Fox Sports, or
Fox
just
Sport,
SmackDown,
wherever
yeah.
it was. We're not talking about we are talking
Pennies,
the same
yeah.
sort of money that what the Premier League.
Premier League.
So that's the level. So if you think Premier League football is like wow, the money in the game, they're selling their TV rights for 3 hours on a Tuesday and a Monday night for billions and billions and billions of
Unreal.
dollars,
Yeah.
like a year. So you think there's something going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And people now and go, oh, the ratings are terrible. There's 3 million ratings because in the time when you were watching, the ratings were like 8,
Right.
9, 10 million viewers or whatever, which is like astronomical figures.
Yeah.
There's some hit TV shows in America probably do 1 million viewers,
Yeah.
and the networks are jumping for joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're doing an average of about 2.5, 3 a week, and they're getting battered for it. So if you're like, what do you do?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
How do you please the masses?
Can't.
It's like at the end of the day, he's a limited company. He's got stakeholders, and he's going, my product is bringing in billions and billions of dollars a year from this one revenue stream.
Yeah.
That's the TV stream,
Ticket
and everything
sales,
else will go.
merchandise.
You name it, network,
Yeah.
royalty. It's ridiculous, and it probably on paper, if you look at it, there's no difference between that and the Premier League in
Yeah.
terms of revenue.
Yeah.
So how amazing it is, and what goes on to that. When you put it in that perspective, you're like, wow, what a business this is.
Absolutely.
So it's like
Amazing.
it's idiots like me who buy stuff.
I used to have some toy figures, I think. I had a ring and some toy figures when I was a kid, but I think that's all I had. I didn't have anything else.
Yeah, I had a few bits.
My
and
mate had like
pieces.
the Rock curtains, Stone Cold Steve Austin bed covers.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
not
that
far.
keen.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
that
he
far.
was keen. Yeah, you've got loads.
Nah.
You still got them?
Go on.
Oh, you know what? I don't actually. I'll buy the t-shirts, right?
Yeah.
If I'm at an event, I'll get a t-shirt to mark the fact I've been there. It's more the fact that paying for the tickets to actually be there, that's the big expense
Yeah.
for me. Like, that's what gets you.
To go to America, like obviously you've got to invest heavy because you've got to fly,
Yeah.
travel, and all the expenses
Yeah.
of going. So it's like, but what's the difference? Some people go out and spend a load of money on drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go out and spend
anyone light entertainment for a few hours.
a few hours, bit of fun in it. It's like going
Seeing
to the
another
opera,
city,
going
yeah.
to the like.
Yeah. Yeah, going to watch a theatre show. Same thing. You were involved in a drama. Look at that for a segue.
No.
You were involved
He's
in
a
a
pro.
drama on Netflix, Lee Cam.
Oh,
When you saw it, what was your first thought?
very well edited.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well edited. I mean, I suppose you have to be careful what you say, but I lived it from sort of start of February until the
Yeah.
end of the season, and I'm not so sure. It's
Yeah.
very easy to paint Martin Bain in that light. Not there at the club anymore. Let's put it all on his door. Put it on the owner who sold the club. Put it all on his door. Put it on Jack Rodwell's door. Goalkeepers aren't very good because they're not Jordan Pickford.
Is
Do you know what I mean? It's like
is it again where it's a
fans are great. Look at us, we're amazing, we're great. Look at our city, we're fantastic. Which is great, and they are. And mate, I'm not saying they're not bad fans
Yeah.
because they are fantastic fans. Absolutely love their club to bits. But the thing is with these things, like these fly on the wall documentaries or whatever they are, I just don't think they should happen because there's an element of mystique that shouldn't be seen behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the greatest respect. The fact is that sometimes it breaks your heart and you don't want, they shouldn't have to see it. And
Yeah.
it's like that saying, never meet your hero.
Yeah, yeah.
And I look at it, I think, great football club, fantastic fan base, stadium unbelievable, training ground unbelievable. But over the years, it's been mismanaged. And that's not from me being on the inside for a couple of months. That's just, it's not rocket science. Somewhere along the line, they fought to stay in the Premier League,
Absolutely.
4 or 5 years, various different managers, stop gaps. That's there for all to see.
Yeah.
So something started there, and it's had a drip-on
Yeah,
effect.
the
and
fire was lit there.
the fire was lit there, and it's,
Yeah.
someone's chucked a bit of petrol on it along the
Yeah.
way, and it's gone. And then obviously they come into the Championship, and it's easy just to go, it's his fault and it's their fault, and Simon Grayson this and Chris Coleman that, and it's like, what can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? Chris Coleman's got no money to spend. He didn't, I signed at 2:00. He was signing another goalkeeper. That fell through. Don't know why it fell through, for whatever reasons. Then it's like, they're scrambling.
Yeah, yeah.
And with the greatest respect, they ended up with me.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't the right fit for either of us. But
Yeah.
I needed to get out and play some football.
They needed a keeper.
They needed a keeper. Jesus, it's Sunderland. When
Absolutely.
what a football club.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, You know, and I probably wasn't the only one. That probably happened with a lot of other signings. That probably happened in the season before, and that probably also happened in the Premier League. Is because a club in that position at the time probably don't get their number one targets, because their number one targets are probably third, fourth, fifth target in their mind. To go to Sunderland, they're probably thinking, Sunderland, maybe I'll go West Ham. I'll wait for West Ham. West Ham don't want me. Maybe I'll go Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a moving pieces that happens at all levels. So it's like,
do you think as a programme it was more of a docudrama than a documentary? Because they had Netflix.
I thought it was a bit of a hindrance, to be honest. I thought it got in the way.
I think you've put a pin in our idea we were going to do a Birmingham City Netflix special next season, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I just think there's a bit of mystique. I just think, and it goes with a bit with the social media as well, is like, there has to be a bit of mystique to what goes on. Like, there's a magician. If a magician started showing you how to do the tricks, and so you lose interest. And I think, and I mean this with the greatest respect, like, I follow Manchester United and I support Manchester. They're my team, but I don't want to see their changing room. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see people dancing. I want that's their sacred place. I don't want to see behind the scenes. I don't want to see where the magic happens. I want to see them play well on a Saturday and win. Right? And if they don't win, I'm not going to cry about it and start going this and that. You know what? We didn't win. I just think things should be left behind closed doors a little bit, where there's a mystique. And I think there's so many different outlets now with it all, and players are probably just as bad as anybody else with the way they do things. And it,
everyone's a journalist now with a camera on their phone.
Unfortunately,
Were you at QPR when they did the 4-year plan?
I was. I featured in that.
Following you around,
You love the
that
the TV camera.
To be fair, that was probably 10 years ago or so. That I wasn't really
prominent part of it.
I wasn't really. I think I'd gone out on loan to Forest, and thankfully wasn't, because again, that was a shambles. That was all done for all the wrong reasons. Like, do it, but do it for the right reasons.
Entertainment.
And I generally think the one with Sunderland was done for the right reasons, because I really did think it really come across. And you would think a Premier League club coming down would be pretty strong.
Yeah.
But they obviously wasn't in a financial position to be that strong.
Yeah.
But I generally think that it was a case of, right, this is a rebuild season, we're going to bounce back. And unfortunately, it didn't quite.
Yeah.
They sort of stumbled a bit, and it gradually got worse. But I think if you're going to do it, I'd do it for the right reasons. Because some of the stuff they do on, is it the Amazon Prime with the American football teams? Like, all or nothing stuff. Really, really good.
Yeah, it's good.
But again, you don't feel like you've intruded. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you don't want to watch it feeling intruded. You get little snippets. You get to know, like, I like the one with the Phoenix.
I watched the Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals, one in Phoenix, and BA. Like, really, really good. Because when I finish, I want to go into management and that side of it. And I look at the way he dealt with players, and I looked at things like the car parking space, parking your own car parking space. But there was enough there to show that there's a level of discipline and respect. But that was it.
Without going into the meeting of him getting battered for it.
Yeah, because I'm sure when the cameras went off and he dragged that player in, that player got told in no uncertain terms, this is how you conduct yourself if you're a Cardinals player. But there was enough there to go, whoa, this is run on, like, correct behaviours. But then that was it, and it didn't need to see, like, for example, Jack Rodwell coming out of an office and he's on his phone and they're like recording him, and you're like, this is a kid's life. Like, the fans don't like him. He earns whatever money he earns, fine. But his kid's life. He's a gentleman. He's a kid he's got children. He's got a wife. He's trying to sort his life out. He doesn't want to be in this position. I'm sure if somebody went, we'll take you and get out of here, I bet he would have jumped on the first plane out of there. Fortunately, you get dealt the cards you get dealt, and you have to deal with it. And I think that's the side of it where they got it right on the Cardinals, and they probably just slightly got it wrong on the Sunderland one. But again, it's easy to be critical because I'm not an editor or a producer, and I'm not putting it together. I'm just saying it from my perspective, and my take is that I think there needs to be a little bit of, like, mystique left. A little bit of toothpaste left in the old tub, you know what I mean?
Do you think off the back of that, in the summer, when everyone had watched it, your reputation then took a hammering before you did anything, before you moved anywhere, everyone, because of what the Sunderland fans?
Again, it's social media, isn't it? Like, I'm not on Twitter and I'm not on Instagram, so I don't really follow what people say. But people say this and people say that, and it's like, Storming a teacup, innit? Water for ducks back.
Yeah.
Like, first one to admit, I didn't play great. I don't think I played as bad as people would like to like make out, but I wasn't by any like in certain terms, like at the standards I feel I'm at now, and that people are seeing. But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is the world you live in. People jump on a phone and they're like, I'm going to abuse him. More power to you. If you get your kicks on slagging me off, great.
Yeah.
It's just like, move on. I'm going to have a coffee and chill. Like,
Have you always had that? Just
Well, I've had incidents. I was a Derby boy, played for Derby. But when I grew up, there was like fans forums.
Yeah,
like,
that's where you'd go.
Fans forum, and you're like, who cares? It's probably a Forest fan winding a load of like people up.
Yeah.
And people on Twitter are probably like Villa fans winding up Birmingham fans, Newcastle fans winding up. This is what people do. People get the kicks out of it, and it's, you know what? Just whatever.
Yeah,
just
can't let it affect you and
control what you can control. What comes out of other people's mouth and people's opinions of you is complete. Like, I live by my values and I do what I do, and that's it.
Yeah, because I thought just before you'd even kicked a ball, you see stuff and you just think, the lad ain't even joined the club yet. And
No
he's
problem.
Getting powers.
No problem. Like,
Which I think is just everything wrong with what social media is. You get 140 characters or now 280 characters, so there's no context in whatever people say. Everyone wants to be the bad guy before they've posted and take the mick out of someone before they've even given them a chance. And I just think that was the wrong bit of it. Yeah. If you've got an opinion on League Camp after 50 games or after 2 seasons and it's
no
based
problem.
on, then you can justify.
But I take that exactly the same as I take that in the summer. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you're more than entitled to your opinion, and you can have all the opinions and everything you want. It's absolutely fine. But I sit here with all the facts.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. You can have all your own opinions, and your opinion is based on what you know and what your facts are. For example, when I left Forest, there was all this skullduggery, blah, 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 blah. And like, I still lived in Nottingham until the summer. I went to Norwich, but I still lived there. And I'd be in Westbridge for, oh yeah, you did this, and you, and I was like, yeah, I did. Yep, absolutely. Whoa. And people, listen, I just have to say to people, I appreciate you're passionate about your football club, and I appreciate that you care, right? But what you know is what you know. And you're more than entitled to have your opinion on your facts. And that sits more than comfortable with me.
Yeah.
Because I sit here knowing the truth, right? And I understand that football club or any other football club has to protect the wheel.
Yeah.
So Birmingham City, Nottingham Forest, Derby County, Bournemouth, all these football clubs will go on for hundreds of years after I'm dead. So they have to protect their wheel. So if I have to be the bad guy and I have to say I did this and I didn't quite do that, it's absolutely fine because I sit here with the facts. And have I always conducted myself in the right way? Not always. And have I always deserved a bit better? Not always, but I've deserved better from certain things. But it's no problem because the wheel has to be protected and we move on. Yeah. And it's like, it's yesterday's yesterday. It ain't going to change.
Do you think some young players need to adopt that attitude because they're growing up on social media and that's their everything, they live on it?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I think they do because like I said to you, I'm looking at wanting to move into coaching and managing. So I have to now look at how I would manage a squad. And when I've done my coaching courses and done certain seminars, etc. Again, it's like looking at the bigger picture, the ripple effect, and it's like, how do you manage situations? If you've got players who are active on social media, like, you now look at it, do they need that?
Yeah.
Do they need that to perform? So if you kind of handcuff them a little bit, is that going to affect their performance on Saturday? And it's like, it's just another thing that's come around that's you have to adapt.
Yeah.
At first I was like, this is crap.
Yeah.
Like,
no
players should not be on, like, no good will come from it. Players shouldn't be on there, players shouldn't be interacting with fans in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, and again, it's like going, people give you praise and you're, thanks mate and all that. But when someone slags you off, you ignore it.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't go both ways. You can't have it good and you can't disapprove of the bad. And that's why I just think, just leave it as it is. Don't get involved in it. Because it's such a great tool, Twitter and that, the immediacy of it is fantastic. Like, to get the news so instant or get information is great. And again, I just think, like, they do have to adopt it because you can, like, the players who are getting, like, racially abused online, it's horrific. It's like, it's awful. It's dark ages. Delete your account.
Yeah.
Like, why don't just, then they win. All right, I can understand they can win and you practice it. But if you delete it, you eliminate that
They don't exist
platform.
anymore.
They
There's
don't.
no
That
option in
platform's
front.
gone.
Yeah.
If people can't use it correctly, then just eliminate it.
Yeah.
Do you know? It's like when cold callers call you, just block them on your phone now. It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Just
Don't
block
even bother.
it and do whatever. And I know it's a real difficult subject with the racing because it's horrific, and some of the people, some of the things that have been put on there,
Yeah.
I mean, like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Like, absolute morons. And I just think, like, if someone was, like, shouting through your window in your kitchen, or if somebody pulled up at the traffic lights giving you the V's, you just drive off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You take away from the situation.
But like you say, then.
But then they
the
win,
devil's
and it's a
advocate will be
tough
that they
one.
win.
It's
Yeah.
a tough one. It's a real tough one. And again, you do what you feel is best. And I think
Yeah.
like Raheem Sterling in the last couple of weeks. I mean, I think what a
Unbelievable
guy.
advocate for the
I
game.
mean, the perception that was around him.
Yeah.
And again, I never bought into the perception of it because you're like, I don't know him. Good footballer.
Yeah.
You know, but you actually see, you think, my God, what a guy,
As
what
a
a
young
human
man
being.
as well. So
Maturity and like the intelligence and the way he speaks, you think,
Yeah.
fantastic. Like
Yeah.
he's winning to
Yeah.
me. He's winning, and it like should he shut it? But I said shut your account down.
Yeah.
But he's winning. It's like
Well,
again,
that's it.
do what you like.
He's
it's
using
either
his
side of it.
platform to then set the standard for other
Yeah.
young players of ethnic minorities, and this is how you conduct yourself in the face of horrendous abuse. Like
Yeah.
you say, he's come out of it and emerged fantastic.
Amazing.
So it's a difficult one. How difficult was it being a Derby lad to do so well at Forest and your hometown fans? Because whenever we play Derby,
Oh,
they give you absolutely bucket.
well, again, people have like I'm at QPR. I leave Derby because they don't want me to play. So what do? So you sat in this position. You've got a year left at Derby, just been promoted. You've had an increase in salary, and you think, shall I just sit here and take the money? And then people question if you want to play or not. And I had a great opportunity to go to QPR. I'd been there on loan. We'd stayed up. Manager I knew in John Gregory. I'd been there before prior. Club that I had a history with. Fans like me. Good part of the world to live. Sort of lived in that sort of Berkshire, West London sort of area. I thought, well, I can sit here and do nothing, and then you become one of them people who just sits on their arse and earns a load of money for a year. And then what? So what's the ripple effect of that? Billy Davis leaves, doesn't offer me a new contract, which he said he wasn't going to do. He said I could stay for a year, but I wasn't going to be offered a new contract.
You're out in the cold.
So I'm out in the cold, not played really properly for 2 years. Still a young lad, not really built a reputation or any sort of thing. You get an opportunity to go and play first team football at QPR with a good set of players, a good manager. A club that didn't have any money, but were making a real beeline to get you to go there. And you think, you go and do it, so you leave, and then it goes sour at QPR. They have various managers. Again, I'm sat on I'd signed a new contract, 4.5 year deal, having been there 8 months, on very, very like good position, good financial position where I could just sit and chill for 2 years and do nothing.
Yeah.
And then you're back to that scenario at Derby, and it's like, what do I do? What do? You want to play? I've always wanted to play. I've walked away from elements of money, and I've never made money like my keeper. I've always wanted to be somewhere where I could play and make an impact.
Yeah.
I sat at QPR, and I'm thinking, what do I do? Like, I'm not going to play here. Flavio Briatore didn't like me. One day he gave me a new contract, and then 3 weeks later, like, he don't like me. Cam can never play. Brilliant. Well, I've got 3.5 years here, so I could be and sit here and take all your money, or I could look for pastures new.
Absolutely.
And I think, well, what's the best situation? It's not a healthy environment. So you leave, and then you're a goalkeeper, and there's only so many slots.
Yeah, of course.
So naturally, you have probably looking below QPR, and at that time they were sort of mid to low table championship side, that sort of era. So Forest had just come up. They hadn't started the season great, and they were actively, possibly looking for a goalkeeper. So agents, chief exec speak, usual. Do you want to go to Forest on loan?
What's your first thought there?
Why not?
Yeah.
Back to the Midlands. I want to play. I need to play because my stock's getting low. I need to keep playing. Challenge. Bottom of the table. Bit of a challenge. Then look at the fixtures. Derby away. And I think, well...
First one?
No, fourth game. Derby away's fourth game.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, well, you've got to go back at some point. They used to jeer you a bit when you played. Didn't overly like me anyway, so what's the point? Then I look at it. Children to support, mortgage.
Yeah.
Still a young lad, got bills to pay.
Back in the area.
I think, well, again, Nottingham Forest. What a great chance to go and play for a good football club.
Yeah.
What a challenge. So you go and do it, and then ended up signing permanently. And then what? You're not meant to play well. You're meant to down tools now. You've signed and go in there as a secret agent. That's not.
No.
That's ridiculous. It's like.
Did you get pelts the minute you signed there? Did you know when you were doing when you obviously moved?
No, not really, because I still lived in Derby for a little bit afterwards. I didn't know when I first signed on loan. It wasn't that bad because I don't think Cloughie wasn't at Derby then, and it all got really heated when Nigel went to Derby,
right?
I think Billy went to Forest, and I think Billy went sort of around about Christmas, and I think Nigel followed him just after, and I'd gone back to QPR at that point. My loan had finished, and that's when the rivalry started a bit, the whole Derby, because obviously Nigel and his connections, Billy and his connections, and that's when it all sort of heated up, and there's a few characters in either squad that sort of stir the pot, and then the media get involved, and it's like, you know, I mean, you walk out, it's got Clough's managing Derby, it's on you can't write it, can you? It's great for time. And then everyone, there's like Chrissy Commons had signed for Derby straight from Forest.
So many subplots.
And there were so many subplots, and then obviously, like, I make no bones about it. I wind them up.
Yeah. Play to it.
I play to it, and you know, you do a bit along the way, and you blow a few kisses and you smiles, but it's what it is. It's like they give you a load of abuse, and then like you smile, and they want to kill you.
For smiling back at.
You smile back at it. It's like so if you start giving them visas or like stick the middle finger up at them, like I get into trouble. It's like
you can't
for a prime example, my cousin sits behind the goal right at Derby. In fact, two of them sit behind the goal separately. My older cousin, who's pretty level-headed, Richard, my family sort of sit to the right of them, opposite like the main stand. So I get booked at Derby for time wasting. So the ball boy, my cousin, is over the ball boy's shoulder, right? He's right behind him, and he said, he's like looking at me, and I'm there waiting for the ball, right? And the ball boy takes forever to give me the ball, right? And he walks up probably within about 5 or 6 yards and throws the ball the other side of me where I can't get it, right? So I'm like, oh, brilliant. So I turn around, referee books me, and they go, whee! And I'm thinking, I'm not even time wasted. Like, I can time waste with the best of them, and it's like...
Well, that is on our list to talk about.
Yeah, I've got some great tricks you've not even seen yet. So I'm looking, I've just been booked. These guys have just got me booked, right? This little ball boy who's about 13 has launched the ball where I can't get it. The referee's waiting to book me. I'm thinking, so I'm talking to my cousin after the game, I can't remember what it was, I think we had some dinner a few weeks later, and he's like, what about when you got booked? And I went, I know, I wasn't even, he went, the kid launched it about 6 foot away from you on purpose. And he's like, I went, well, I got booked because you lot are screaming, and that's just the way it is, and it's like, some of it is ridiculous. Some of the comments I've had over the years, and some of the things that people have said to me, like
overstep the mark a bit.
It's just overstep.
The personal stuff. It's the family stuff. It's the personal.
Yeah, like when they, you know, you just think, I'm not going to repeat it. You just think, come on, mate. Like that's a bit.
Yeah,
it's a game of football. Like, if you want to abuse me and I'm this, that, and that, that's fine. Like, but again, you take it water for ducks back. But you kind of think, like, what are these people? Like, imagine if I walked into your workplace and just screamed what you just screamed at me, there'd be bloody hell to pay. There'd be murder. Like, and I just think,
why should it be accepted?
Like, you're a grown man. Like, I've had like grown men, like kids abusing me, like 12, 13. Like, if my little one even steps out, I give him a clip. Language.
Absolutely.
And he's thinking, wow, like that's why I smile, because you chuckle and then you're mad. Like, I've seen people fall down steps and go like stumbling all over the place, and I just think it's electric. And they see you, and they're like, got a pie, and they come charge it, and then they go tumbling. I'm like, mate, can I? Like, you think? Like, I think he's going, man, I want to pick him up,
Yeah.
buy him a pint. Like, he's just lost your pint. Do you know what I mean?
The best part of that is, if they actually had a conversation with you and got to know you and your reasons why you made the moves you did, they'd probably respect that a little bit.
Yeah, it's only like when my cousin left ABB and went to Rolls Royce in Derby.
Yeah.
2 companies that work the same. He went Rolls Royce. He went Rolls Royce because it benefited. It was a better situation for him.
Career move for him at the time.
Yeah.
The best thing.
Like, what am I meant to do?
Yeah.
Like, you can't. To upset a few Derby fans, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, aren't you? Like, do you know what I mean? It's a case of
you're never going to win.
Don't really want to win. Just want to win on Friday. That's all.
That's it. Let's talk about your time at the club. How you enjoyed this year, mate? Since you've been in.
Good, really good. I felt like I've settled in from day one. I've really enjoyed it. I didn't really, obviously being a Midlands boy and knowing about the club. Like I've known Stevie Spooner for years. Gareth Holmes, who was here before, like I'm pals with him. But I didn't actually realise what a big club Birmingham was until actually like. I've been involved in it. You know, people always it's a big club and this is a big club and whatever. And like, I mentioned about Sunderland being a big club and aspects and that. But like, Birmingham's a big club. Do you know what I mean? Second city club. Like the way it's a big club. It's got a big club feel the way it is. And I didn't appreciate that until actually like I got here. And that's probably just being in football. I haven't been here like in recent years, the struggles and that, you kind of forget what's gone before, don't you? Because everything's everything's so immediate and you only think about what happened 5 minutes ago, last year and blah blah blah. And it's like, wow, what a big club, what a really good club, like really enjoy being here and like I'm on the back 9 of my career now, so I'm enjoying everything I can, but
so was Tiger Woods, mate.
Yeah, so was Tiger Woods, but nah, really enjoying my time.
Yeah.
Really
Touchwood as well, stay injury free and play as many games as you have this year. That's got to be a big plus for you as well.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously I touched on it going up to Sunday. I've been injured and I've been out, and it was touch and go whether or not. I mean, even up to last summer, I was having thoughts if I was gonna, was I gonna call it a day? And because the one thing I wanted to do is that I wanted to be able to train and play, and I didn't want to. I spoke to specialists and physios. I mean, you manage your loads and all these things they do now. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that trains on a Friday.
Yeah.
It comes out and does a bit and does a little bit on a Thursday and get through. And I'm like, that's not. I want to be out there in the trenches. Like, if I'm injured and I can't train or I need like a recovery day, then sense will prevail. But I didn't want to be that guy where people were like tiptoe like, oh, can he train today? Is his knee going to be alright? And can he do this and can he do that?
Just getting through it.
And to be fair, like the best thing I did last summer was sort of like go away and just take ownership of it and really get on top of things. And
did you, fitness wise?
Yeah, got on. I got back to. I got running and got in the gym and did little bits and pieces that I used to do on my own before I got injured, which was like my go-to stuff. And like, well, if I can do this mentally, I'm getting in a place. Might be a bit old school or whatever, but that's my process. And I went back to that and I thought, well, about 10 days before I started back at Cardiff, I was like, I knew the situation at Cardiff. I knew what was going on. I knew they was going to sign a goalkeeper, and like me and Neil Warnock were like straight with one another. He was good as gold. I knew the situation, but I thought, I'm not going out like that. Like, I'm going to go out on my terms, and if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out failing miserably, basically. I'm not just going to give up on it. And you know what? Touch wood, my knee's good. It's the rest of my body that's falling to pieces, fingers and wrists and things. The time of the year as it is, but no, I'm delighted. I've not missed it. I've not had any issues, which I'm really pleased with, and I'm as fit and as strong now as I think I've ever been. Long may it continue.
Great atmosphere among your keepers as well. I know we joke about it whenever I take the camera down there and you try and hit us and break our equipment and all that stuff.
Oh, that's great, yeah.
The banter between you all, Flavs, you, the younger boys as well. Do you enjoy being part of that and the old head among some of the young keepers we've got?
Yeah, I do, because they keep you young. They keep you young. Like, I really like Connell. Like, Connell's a really nice guy. I sit next to him in the changing room and we have like a laugh and a joke about things. But there's such an age gap. It's like, I know it's 12 years and it's a couple of generations, but it does feel like a big, because of like,
the generation,
again,
the
way
changes.
the changes in society and things like that. There is a big thing, but like me and Con have some chats about stuff and we have banter and that, and it does keep you young, because I'm probably the oldest in the squad. And and as well as like weaves and Sivs is a loose cannon. I mean, I've never known an 18-year-old talk to a senior professional the way he speaks to me. I mean, some days I don't even know what to say because I'm gobsmacked. I mean, I'll get a text at night and it's just like, wow,
What?
I don't know what to say to this or whatever. But
Michael's a great character.
Michael's a good lad, Bundesliga, Magic Mike. You know, he's got all the moves, magic. But it's great though because he comes from a different culture. He comes from Germany, where Germany in the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years have produced fantastic goalkeepers.
Yeah.
So he comes over, and is he technically the same as us? No. Does he look the same as us when he keeps goal? No. But he does the same object, he keeps the ball out of the net.
Exactly.
And it's great to have somebody from a different culture who comes in and you look and go, oh, you're never too old to learn.
Yeah.
You're never too old to learn. Like, you know, you can do this. But we've got real good in I think the way Flavs and Bevs work with the integration of the 23s in with the senior boys, the under-18s boys in with the 23s, and then obviously and we all, you know, for instance, we do some sessions, we're all together.
Yeah.
So the camaraderie is together, and you want to, you know, encourage the young ones and get them out of themselves and make the environment feel comfortable for them to progress and perform. And then they take them out and they separate them, so it keeps them hungry. That you can't always have that. You want to be over there every day. You've got to be there, and that's like they have a really good balance. And we've got. I've known Flav for a long time, and we are mates, and we'll be mates after we part ways at Birmingham City, but. I mean, Flavs is developing into like a real top goalie coach. Bevs is on the same sort of thinking and mindset as him. And as you saw some of the work today, it's all relevant. Again, the game's changed. The game's changed since I was playing 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and again now, different styles of play. So you're having to always adapt different things, and it's not the routine of come in, catch a few balls, make a few saves, go home. Every day, it challenges you physically and mentally to improve, and it's really good clip between us.
But you can't coach time wasting.
No, you can't coach time wasting.
You are just the best time wasting goalkeeper I've ever seen. That ain't even competition.
Did you like my rugby one last week against Leeds?
Competition.
I was devastated because the ball sort of bounced up into a position I couldn't dive, so I thought I've got to dive. So I thought I'm just going to run this one over the line and score a try. So I thought. Leeds fans were moaning. I thought I'd give you something to moan about. Here we go. Let's have it.
He revels in it.
It's. I've got a few tricks. I've got a run up, but you've not seen my run up yet. I've not had an opportunity really to do the run up because it's always been. But it's you place the ball. Say if it's an offside, you need the space first. So you have an offside, and if you look when I take a kick, I usually run off about 2.5, 3 steps. Okay. But you have like a 25-yard bowler's run up. So you place the ball and you just keep going back. And then you just do a little hand gesture to like, Juki, just move over, mate. I've got to wait for Juki. He's got to come on. Juki, come on. Shay, over. Then you wave a few hands. Then you pull your socks up and you know, kick your toes in to make sure your boots are in the ground. And then you slowly walk up to the ball, get 3 yards away, you stop, and then you just kick it as normal. So you've wasted 45 seconds, and the referee's just giving it, he's just running up, because he usually jogs off or turns his back. The linesman watches you place the ball and he runs off. Yeah. So it's like,
you've got to get that one in before the end of the season.
Well, it's hard one to get in. I don't think I've done that many. That's a good one I've got, but it's not. It's hard to get in because the timing's got to be right, and you've got to kind of do that when your kick is like the last kick of the game, or it's like if I kick it into the corner, there's like 20 seconds left. So once they take that throw in, or once they take that whatever it is, that's the end of play. You can't be doing that with like 3 or 4 minutes to go. It's got to be the timing. So,
well, if the opportunity arises, I expect to see. I'm going to call that one. I know exactly what he's doing.
We'll be ready for it. Like when they
backing into the
like when they throw the ball back to you, and you like you have your hands there, and then you open your hands up, and the ball you're like, throwing it too high. Like so many you've got. Like you know, you go to catch it, and it pings off your knee. And you're like, so many different little
fans see it. The away fans see it every time, and you see them raging, and that cracks me up because. You're just doing the dark arts of football, and it's what you're there to do.
He'd do it.
Absolutely, it's what you're there to do.
He should do it.
Yeah.
If we're losing 1-0, I expect them to time waste and take as much time as possible. It's like when you throw the ball up and you throw it so high it comes down with snow, and it's like you could have just rolled that. Could have, but
sorry,
it's not going to waste any time rolling it in there, is it? Got to get some snow. So, it's just
Nice.
Bit of fun, and it keeps it.
Yeah.
Bit of fun.
We'll talk a little bit about Friday if we can. Looking
Yep.
forward to it. Big game, 4 to go. Big Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Derby at home.
Yeah,
on
I'm
Friday.
looking forward to it. Actually, I like these little periods. I like the Christmas period when the games come thick and fast, because these are always like when you're a kid. These are the ones where it keeps coming, and it's yeah. I mean, Derby's Derby. It's a tough game. They're obviously fighting for a position to get into the playoffs. And then Monday is again, you know, people are calling it a relegation battle and all that. Relegation battle, but it's a tough game because Rotherham play their elements. They did it when I was there. No one really wants to go to Rotherham.
Got player of the season there.
Did get player of the season there. Yes, it cost me a few quid, but I got it. It's all right. But no one wants to go to Rotherham at any time of the year, to be honest with you. So it's always tough, and we've got to go there and match them, because we know if we go there and match them and sort of nullify what they've got, you'd like to think that our quality will show through. But if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, because I know what the club's about and know what the manager's about. So it's two different type of games. One footballing team, one with respect to probably play a little bit more like ourselves. Quick turnaround, so yeah, it's going to be a good couple of days.
Yeah, is it just a case of trying to get over the line as quick as possible now? It's hanging over us. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, we'll be okay."
Yeah, it's like anything, and I suppose it's like if you're trying to fight for a playoff place, you want to be in the playoffs, and once you fight at the top of the league, you want to get promoted as soon as possible. But we just go every game as well. We've had a good week. I know Saturday people might look a bit disappointing, but they've got nothing to lose. Gloves are off. Of course they're going to throw everything at you. Sometimes things happen, and if you can't win it, you don't lose it. And I think 5 points in the 3 games we've had have been a real good return. Let's just get as many points as we can. I think 2 or 3 points should keep us mathematically safe, I would imagine. Not off the top of my head, but if the worst comes to the worst, I still think there's quite a lot for other teams to do to really drag us in there. So but again, we control what we control, and we'll want to get it done ourselves and not rely on anybody else.
Yeah. Got any favourite games this year? The QPR one?
Yeah, QPR was good but nerve-wracking, obviously. I enjoyed the Villa games, to be honest with you. I've never played in an atmosphere like that. I mean, that blows Derby Forest out of the water. I mean, the noise at Villa Park was just like... It was pointless even trying to shout to the back four or players, because I couldn't hear you. I could barely hear yourself shout. So that buzz around the place was... And the one at St Andrews, obviously, as well, was great until the incident happened, and it's sort of knocked the stuffing out of the game a bit. But no, I enjoy it. I know we lost them, but I mean, in terms of like what it is, I think they're really good to play in. Really good. But no...
The last minute penalty save, though, to win a game that was that crazy, 4-0 up at... Or 4-1
that's
at
nice.
half-time.
Yeah, that's nice. That was a good... Obviously, to go back to QPR as well, it's like... I always get a decent reception when I go back. It's always nice to go back there. It's one of my favourite grounds to play at. Nice and tight, and
Old
fans
school.
are on top of you, and it's... Yeah, it's a bit of... When you go to the new stadiums, like, people are probably appreciating 50, 60, 70 years' time when they play there, because it'll have a bit of history and a bit of... But, I grew up in the Premier League years when QPR were a Premier League team, and Trevor Sinclair scoring like overhead kicks there, and that, do you know what I mean? So it's like, to go to them grounds, it's always they're some of the best ones to go to.
Does that game almost typify the life of a goalkeeper, in the fact that you're going to have moments as a keeper where you are the hero? Penalty shootout's a perfect example, where you make a save, or a fantastic... I think there's one at Leeds away in that first win. Late on, you have to make a massive save with about 2 minutes left. And there's other games where if you make a mistake, the result changes. It's just is it the nature of the position that you always have that? There's more you're going to make mistakes that lead to points being dropped this year. You'll also save points because of the nature of the position this year.
Well, that's the thing. Like one of the first interviews I did here, and that was like, it's just trying to be as consistent as you can. Like, I should have done better with a goal against Sheffield United, and it's just like, these things happen.
Yeah.
Like, you have a split second, like, should have done better with it. But I think over a course of a season, I think as long as you're in the plus zone and not in the minus zone, and that it doesn't affect your all-round game, like, probably should have done better with a goal at Swansea, the first one. But then you come and you make a couple of saves, and your game can't drop. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to make mistakes.
You know when that happens? And you know in your own mind, you're like, probably should have done a bit better with that one. Is your experience then kicking, and you just go, right, clear that, wipe the deck, off we go.
Next one.
Next save.
Next one, because the next thing you need to do needs to be positive. and it needs to be positive, and nothing changes. 'Cause if you save it, you do the next thing, the same thing.
Yeah.
And this is what I tried to say to Sivs and some of the younger lads who are out playing men's football now and getting good experience. It's like that can't affect the game.
Yeah.
Because you can make that mistake in the first minute, and I've been there. I've made a mistake. Oh, damn, wrong position, bad kick, should have caught it, shouldn't have put whatever. You think I should have done better with that. You've got 90 minutes plus to play then. So what are you going to do? Do you turn around to the manager going, well, my head's gone. Mentally I can't. Emotionally I'm all over the place. So you just go, well, that's the one. That's the one. It's like a golfer. It's a bogey. It's a birdie. But he knows his score he wants to get to throughout the game. Throughout the round, sorry. And he probably thinks, I want to be 2-3 under par here. So if he might go up and below, and it's
peaks and troughs of football. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's how I look at it. And try to don't let that one thing affect you. Because every time a goal goes in, it's always the goalie's fault, isn't it? So the goalie should do this, and you probably could do better with everything, but there'd be no goal scored if the goalie saved everything, wouldn't they? So it's make a mistake, move on, just get on with it. Don't let it affect the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. It's like if you come for a cross, you miss it, you drop it, they score. If the ball's there to come again, you come again. Because the right thing is to come for the cross. Yeah, that's it. Simple as that. Or if you try to play out from the back and you get caught, but if the next ball it's easy to go, oh yeah, just boom it and whatever. But if the right thing is to do, you do the right thing, what's right for you and the team, you go to it and don't let it affect you. You just keep going and keep going.
Mm-hmm. Finally from me, should we get over the line? Are you looking forward to a summer rest and recovery? And
I am, yeah.
Got another year next year?
Got another year. I am. I'm looking for it to be the first summer in a few years, but I've not really had anything on, so
maybe you can watch some more wrestling.
I'm going to go to New York and watch the Joshua fight, I think.
Are you?
Yeah, go with a couple of mates.
Into the boxing as well, or is it just
I do like my boxing. But it's in Madison Square Garden, so I'd like to go. And to be fair, like a couple of my mates I've not seen for a while because Carl plays up at Newcastle and our mate from Nottingham, he's had a baby and his business has took him all over the world, and his wife's business has took him other parts of the world. So he's had a mad sort of year, and we've not really had much time together. So we're going to have a few days in New York, go and watch the boxing. Nice. My agent looks after Big Baby, he's got some tickets. So hopefully go to the weigh-in and do a bit of that.
We'll talk after we press record, press stop on their campaign. We'll see if we can sort something out.
Just rest, recover, get a bit of sun, stay fit, and get ready for God knows what, my 20th pre-season or something. So
keepers don't do pre-season, do they?
No, not as much now. They're running, goodness me, thankfully. But we just when you've had a few weeks off and you start diving again, oh my God.
I've seen it.
The hips and the joints, wow. You think, it was only like 3 or 4 weeks ago since I was diving, but your body switches off. So now I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we finish high and positive, and looking forward to the end of awards. End of year, top the season off, sign it off nicely, and then I think everybody can see that the foundations have been laid for the future, and I think that was probably what the football club needed this year. Wanted to have a steady year. Unfortunately, 1 or 2 things have happened along the way, but overall you can, in terms of being on the pitch and the playing squad, I think foundations have been put in place and good building blocks, which is always a great start for any team.
Camby, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. We could sit here for hours.
No, I enjoy it. We should have a little segment. I could do. Like I say, I love the podcast form.
Yeah.
And like that sort of relaxed environment.
Because you can get into the details and
you can get into details of things, and if you're just bored, just fast forward, or just download and don't listen. That's brilliant. Then we still
get the clip, but just don't.
Yeah,
you don't have to listen.
You don't have to listen. Just make sure you download it so the ratings go up. But no, we should have got Tom in for the wrestling.
Well, let's launch a wrestling podcast on Blues TV. I think that's the way around it.
Because a little group. There's only you, Tom, Callum.
Yeah.
I'll pass that one. I'm busy that week.
Just the 3 of us.
Yeah.
We should have a watch along. We should do what the wrestling some of these podcasts do. Because
what's a watch along?
Well, some of the podcasts, what they do. Like one of my favourite podcasts is this thing called Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And Bruce Pritchard was Vince McMahon's right-hand man.
Okay.
And he was like he was like the inner circle, do you know what I mean? So he knows a lot of stuff. A lieutenant. Nice word, I like it. I was going to go some like gangster mafia stuff, but we'll go with lieutenant.
That's fine.
so you get his perspective on it. But sometimes, and there's a few other ones as well, a few other people that do it. But basically, they fire it up like a WrestleMania, for instance, and they watch it and then they just talk about it and they give their perspective of why things are going on in there. So we should do that one day, like for all the wrestling, for all you Blues fans who are wrestling nuts. This is one for you.
There's at least one at WrestleMania, so he'll be listening.
Well, yeah, that's the one listener.
Yeah, there we go.
Like Britain's got more talents with Stephen Mullen, isn't he? I'm his one viewer.
You're our Stephen Mulhern.
I'd love to be Stephen Mulhern, tell you.
And on that note, I think we've come to the end.
We'll do it.
Thank you ever so much again, mate.
No, you're welcome. I've enjoyed it.
The Blues Talk Podcast with Dale Moon and Callum Denning.
Birmingham City's very own Stephen Mulhern.
Lee Camp in the middle of our goal. We didn't mention the song, did we?
Or
the haircut.
We should have sung it to him while talking about the haircut. Like one of us doing the chant, one discussing that Barnet.
It's a rascal haircut for a 34-year-old.
It's not for me.
No, but you know, he can pull it off. He adds to his character. But what a great interview. I just thought you could sit there and talk. I mean, his time-wasted antics alone deserve their own segment.
Just the run-up.
I want to see that 25-yard run-up before the end of the year. But like I say, you can really tell that he's a professional who understands the game and everything that comes with it, everything off the pitch as well, the criticism that fans will have of him. Mm-hmm. But at the same time acknowledges the fact that he's a goalkeeper with a job to do, and when opportunities present themselves, as they had during his career, he'd be a fool not to take them. That was the case in the summer when he joined the club, and fair play to him. You know, a professional who knows what the game's all about, knows that he's in the swan song of his career, but still has loads to offer the young keepers, as we heard.
I think the main thing we can take away from that is we're going to be starting a Blue CV watch-along of wrestling events now. Me, Campy and Tom Hadley, first team analyst.
It's not going to happen.
It's on the cards, mate. The seeds have been
I
sown.
didn't even know what a watch-along was.
You'll find out. Blue CV, next WWE event.
Yeah, I'll skip
Anyway, moving swiftly on. A couple of big fixtures starting here tomorrow. Derby County.
Yeah, big fixture, as Campy said. You know, one of his former clubs, hometown boy, but more importantly, a big 3 points on the cards. Derby still harbour hopes, slim hopes, I suppose. Their form has been up and down over recent months of getting a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. Loads of quality in their squad, loads of individual quality, but can Frank Lampard, lots of expectation put on him at the start of the season, as most Derby managers do. They seem to think that they have everything there to be a Premier League club again. Yeah. So he had that from the start of the year to contend with, plus the fact that his first season in professional management. It's not a lower league club he's going into. So interesting to see how they do in the next few games. But for us, back on home soil again, as we said, against anyone here on home ground at St Andrews with a bumper crowd, you fancy Blues. Yeah. Yes, Derby will have the ball. Stats will be in their favour. But it's what you do with it, and as we saw against Leeds and Sheffield United, we don't need too many chances to stick them away. So, yeah, hopefully we can quiet Mason Mount, who's going to be buoyed by his hat-trick against Rotherham, funnily enough. But lots of quality in their team, lots of forward players. Harry Wilson's a fantastic talent on his day. We were unlucky at their place. I say unlucky. First half we were very good. Get yourselves in the lead, you think, we're on here, but they just blew us away.
They were
half.
Great, weren't they? I think probably the best performance against us all season.
Yeah, they blew us away second half. I thought Norwich controlled the game away as well, but in terms of an attacking team, I think it was a space of 20 minutes. They blew us away, so that's a warning for us. But like I say, we need the points. I mean, 3 points on Friday gives us one very big step towards safety. So intriguing game again. I'm looking forward to it.
And then we move on to what could be a massive away day at Rotherham.
Yeah.
Complete sellout, I believe, in that away end.
Yeah.
And it could be where we mathematically confirm safety.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think it's just what Swansea play Rotherham on the Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll obviously have a clearer idea of what the picture is after that. But yeah, it's in our own hands. Go there, win, and that leaves you with 2 games to play. The difference should be unassailable for them to make up. So trip to Rotherham. We know what they're all about. They've actually been better than many people expected, I think, this season. They've been in games, and going to their place will be difficult. The thing that does encourage me is the fact that you go to Rotherham at any other stage in the season and you'd imagine they'd bank up and make it difficult. Yeah. And, like I say, try and hope to nick it on the counter-attack. And that's where traditionally we've struggled. You look to results here, Bolton, Millwall, they're the games that we've struggled to break teams down. But because of their predicament, because they're in desperate need of points and wins, and they're running out of games, I think they have to play more expansive, particularly as the game goes on. Now that is perfect for this Birmingham City side. I mean, the way we play.
I was about to say, do you think that's going to lead to a great match, especially on our behalf?
That suits us down to the ground.
Yeah.
The more they have to commit men forwards in search of a goal, they leave those spaces for the wide players and Shay Adams, who will drop in to occupy. Hopefully we see a repeat of the first half performance against Ipswich. A little bit more care around goal, because with the final pass or that final finish, we should have been out of sight, like I say. So hopefully a repeat of that first 45, but we can see it for a full 90, and we just take care of business ourselves and can enjoy the last 2 games of the season.
And in regards to my point earlier about Michael Morrison, he's got to get, 16 goals now to be top goal scorer?
Yeah, he's on 6. So what's Shay? 22.
22. Could still be on.
Yeah, 16.
How many is that per game?
16 to draw, 17 to win outright.
4 per game, is it?
Yeah.
Sounds about right, yeah.
4 and a bit per game.
You never know.
I mean, he's had a great year. And I mean, on a serious point, fair play to Morrow. I mean, he's scoring goals for set pieces. Everyone has their gripes about set pieces, but I know Pep Clotet takes a lot of pride in the work they put in.
Well, that's the point. I was having to think the other day. I can't remember when we were this good from set pieces.
Yeah.
Like, you remember a few years back, Blues got a corner or something, you'd be sat in the stands going, well, it's Blues, nothing's going to come of it. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
We had that feeling for quite a while, and now this season, you think, especially if Conor Mahoney's taken it, there could be a goal at the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very astute. It's those little details that I think make such a big difference. Whether it's, the dark arts of the game, but blocking off a player or trying to free up one of the centre-halves with your better headers of the ball, Lukas Jukovic included. They've done it really well this year, Blues. I know Harley Dean will feel like he wants to have scored more this season, but for Michael Morrison, 6 scored. Not just headers as well, he's there to prod home and stab one from close range. So, yeah, hopefully we carry that threat to the end of the season. And I think we saw during the World Cup, there was like a record percentage of goals scored from set pieces. England's love train.
I was about to say,
set the precedent for our season. So, yeah, I've been really impressed by that. And they have to come up with new ways. I'm going into next season a little bit and fast forwarding a few months away. But there's going to be new ways of trying to score a goal from a set piece, because the amount of homework that goes in. It's actually an episode I'd quite like to do. I'm veering off a little bit, but just looking into the analytical side of the football club, how much goes into that, because I know Ryan Leeds, who heads that department, and his team, Pete Shuttleworth, Dan Millard and the boys, put in so much work into opposition scouting, analysis of games. That is something that interests me as a fan. So we'll see if we can grab them over the summer when the players disappear.
Look forward to that one. Anyway, another thing to look forward to, next Sunday, so not Easter Sunday, the one after, here at St Andrews Trillion Trophy Stadium, Blues women are here hosting Liverpool. Yeah,
a great opportunity for them to play at the stadium. Like I say, season ticket holders, free admission for them for the game on Sunday. So yeah, Liverpool side who haven't been performing this season, looking at the league table, Blues with a couple of games in hand, so they'll want to get the points on the board. You'd imagine Chelsea, Man City and Arsenal are away now in the top 3 at the WSL. But they still want to finish the season strong. All the work that was put in, both under Mark Skinner at the start of the season and Marta now. As the men's team, you want to make sure that that don't go to waste in the last weeks of the season. So, it should be a good one and a good opportunity just to come down and support the women's side. Like we've said off air, the club now are trying to forge those gaps, trying to close those gaps, forge that relationship, bridge the gap between the men's team and the women's team under the unified banner of one club. And it's the player awards the week after the men's season finishes. For the first time ever, it's men and women who will be celebrated on the night. Usually they have their own evenings, so it's just, I think, a concerted effort from the club to support women's football. The RTC at the girls' side of the game is fantastic. I mean, I think you look at the teams in the area: Wolves, West Brom, Aston Villa, Birmingham City's talent pool has just been phenomenal. You look at the amount of players in that first team that have graduated through your Hannah Hamptons and you sort of players that have come through and represent their country at youth levels and have made first team appearances for the club as well. Something that we should be shouting from the rooftops about. I know it was something that Mark Skinner, when he was here, was particularly proud of, the fact that we shouldn't have this underdog mentality anymore as a women's outfit. So lots to celebrate, the player awards. Get yourselves down to St Andrews on Sunday. Liverpool, the visitors. Blues hoping to finish the season strong and put more points on the board.
Well, with Liverpool being the visitors here to St Andrews, it was only sensible that we got Blues women's very own Scouser, resident Scouser, to come on and take on the Quickfire Questions. So, take it away, Paige Williams.
The Blues Talk Podcast.
What music do you listen to before a game?
House music.
Snapchat story or Insta story?
Insta story.
Favourite restaurant to eat at?
TGI's.
Your karaoke song?
Simply the Best, Tina Turner.
Nice. Favourite movie?
White Chicks.
Which country produces the best food?
Italy.
What's your middle name?
Louise.
Ideal holiday destination?
Bali.
Favourite TV series?
Queen of the South.
Nice. That's a good one for you. What's your order from a coffee shop?
Oh, flat white.
Best goal you've ever seen on the pitch live?
Ellen's one against Chelsea, the winner.
Have you met your sporting hero and who is it?
No, I haven't. Stephen Gerrard.
Stephen Gerrard?
Yeah.
What did you go dressed as to your last fancy dress party?
Myself. Messing.
Do you follow an NBA, NFL or MLB team or just not interested?
No.
Not interested.
Don't even know what that stands for.
Any WhatsApp groups you're in? What are the names apart from Blues?
Rose between two fawns. Me, one of my other mates and Aoife. Obviously Aoife's the Rose. Family group chat. Bit boring, to be honest.
Fair. Can you speak another language?
Yeah, Scouse.
Yeah, fair. Which Hollywood actor would you choose to play yourself in a movie?
Oh, Amy Schumer.
Fair. Decent one this. If the whole squad had a Royal Rumble, who'd be left in the ring at the end?
Me and Aoife.
But out of the two of you, who's going to win?
Me.
Fair. What type of student were you at school?
Not a very good one.
What's on your bucket list?
For this interview to be over.
Do you have a recurring dream, and is it this interview?
Dream. Oh, do you know what? To be in the police.
Okay. Worst item of clothing you've ever worn?
Probably these like flowy trousers that no one ever liked.
Proper Scouse, that.
Proper Scouse, yeah.
Addicted to anything?
Coffee.
What are you most afraid of?
Spiders.
Favourite city other than Birmingham or Liverpool?
Gotta be Brescia in Italy.
What's the best way to eat chicken? Like which part, which flavour?
With your fingers.
Yeah, but how do you have it? Like the actual chicken?
Oh, chicken wing?
Chicken wing?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on fishing?
Fishing, couldn't think of anything worse.
Favourite piece of sporting memorabilia that you own?
Don't have any.
No? And have you ever read a book cover to cover?
Yeah.
You'd be amazed how many people say no.
Do you want another book?
Go on, give us a
50 Shades.
The Blues Talk Podcast with Dale Moon and Callum Denning.
Paige Williams there in advance of Blues women playing here at St Andrews Trillion Trophy Stadium against Liverpool. Also, speaking about fixtures in the future, tomorrow, or Good Friday if you're listening after, in which case you've actually missed the match, so there's no point listening to this. It's available on Blues TV, pay-per-view £10. Watch us at home to Derby County. We did ask the question about Rotherham United.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
3 times a question. Asked Rotherham if we could stream the match on Monday, but they have said no. So that will only be available to international subscribers. Audio commentary will be available to UK fans. Anyway, Dale, that's about the end of the podcast. But before we go, we've got a little bit of a special treat coming up next week. A belated Easter gift.
The God Amongst Men. Big interview here on Blues Talk. We're not going to reveal too much in terms of who it is, but just know that the big gun Colin Tatham's been called in.
You know it's serious.
The cavalry's arrived. The big boss is in. So we're going to be having
man like tats.
We're going to have quite a special interview here on Blues Talk. So stay tuned for that one.
And that's all we're going to give you. In the meantime, this has been Blues Talk. I've been Callum Denning.
And I've been Dale Moon.
I was about to say we're back in a fortnight. We're not. We're back in a week for that big special.
And then I suppose it's a season wrap-up.
Yeah, and then the player awards.
I mean, there's still lots to talk about, but for another week, I've been Dale Moon.
We've done this. I've been Callum Denning.
And I've been Dale Moon again.
And I've been Callum Denning, and we will see you, or you'll hear us, next time.